Now, the inorganic acids are very strong acids, and they can really burn living tissue as well as the clothes and even wood. Even if you pour them on cemented floor, you will find that it has started getting corroded. So, we have to be very careful when we are using these strong acids, especially in the concentrated form. So, what is the solution? The solution is that we can dilute it. Now, what does that mean? That means we add water. So, if this is the sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, then do we add water? I told you last time also what will happen. There will be so much of splashing that the acid can fall on your face. You must always keep the test tube away from your face, and also never add water to sulfuric acid. In fact, what is done is that we take water in a tube and then add sulfuric acid. Even then there is lot of heat released. So, it is an exothermic reaction. Which other reaction is exothermic? When we added water to calcium oxide. So, in the case of acids, if we want to dilute them, we must always pour acid into water and very slowly, so that it is safe. So, what happens? Why then it becomes diluted? Because the number of ions or the number of amount of acid per unit volume is reduced, because there is more water. So, acid per unit volume is reduced. So, that is why whatever is available in the market is always diluted acid. In the labs also we generally try to keep the diluted acids, and concentrated acid is kept very safely, because they can be very dangerous. So, this is how we can dilute an acid. If we talk of strength of acids and bases, then we can easily conclude that all acids are not equally strong. So, how to measure the acidity of a particular acid? Similarly, the basicity of a particular base. For this purpose, a scale has been determined, and this is called pH scale. In the pH, with the way we write, P is small and H is a little bigger. So, this is the pH scale, where P stands for a German word potens, which means power. So, we have a pH scale by which we can measure the acidity or the basicity of a substance. If we take it like this, what we find is that the scale is from 0 to 14. It keeps on becoming narrow. The neutral is at 7. So, 0 to 7 is acid and 7 to 14 is base. Now, just to understand a little more clearly, at 1.2 is gastric juice, and you know that gastric juice has HCl in it. The lime juice, which has citric acid in it, is 2.2. At 7.4 we have pure water. So, pure water is not absolutely neutral. At 10 we have milk of magnesia, and at 14 we have sodium hydroxide. So, as the pH reduces, it becomes acidic, as it increases, it becomes basic. You know, pH is also important for the living organisms. For a living organism like say plants and animals or human beings, the required pH is 7 to 7.8. Now, what happens if it is less than this? Now, if there is acid rain, now what is acid rain and how can rain be acid? You know that due to industries, overpopulation, lot of combustion, lot of acidic oxides are emitted in the air like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. These acidic oxides, when they dissolve in water vapors, then the rain that comes is not pure water, it is acid rain. Not only acid rain corrodes buildings like Taj Mahal is getting corroded, even when it falls in water bodies, the aquatic life is killed. Affects aquatic life. Why so? Because the pH becomes 5.6, which is acidic, though not very acidic, but even then that mild or dilute acid is also harmful enough for the living organisms. Now, coming to the pH in day to day life, now one example is that of acidity, which I have already discussed with you, that when excess of hydrochloric acid is produced in the stomach, we get acidity, which can be neutralized with the help of antacids, which are basic in nature like soda bicarb and also milk of magnesia or ENO. Now, second case is that of pH in value in mouth. In the mouth, when we eat food, that food decomposes and acids are produced. So, these acids, if the value of your mouth, pH value in the mouth is 5.5, then it is very dangerous for your teeth. You know, teeth are the strongest tissue in the body. They are made up of calcium salts, but even these teeth, they start getting degenerated because of the action of the acids. So, what is the way out? Rinse your mouth, clean your brush, clean your teeth twice, and especially before sleeping, because the food particles which remain stuck in the teeth, they decompose and produce acids, and that is why you get those cavities and then the painful visits to the dentist. So, what is the easy way out? Rinse your mouth after every meal and brush your teeth both in the morning as well as at night. So, 5.5 pH in mouth can cause tooth decay. And then I gave you the example of nettle plant and the honey bee. Both these, they have a defense mechanism in which they release acid, methanoic acid. Nettle plant and the honey bee. They produce methanoic acid. Which causes that burning sensation. And once again, just like we do it in acidity, we can use antacids and then we can neutralize these acids. The brushing of the teeth also helps because pastes are slightly alkaline. So, they can neutralize the acid. So, wherever there is excess of acid, the way out is neutralizing it with the help of a base. In agriculture, the pH value of soil is very important. Due to the excessive usage of fertilizers, the pH value changes, and as a result the soil can become acidic or basic. If the fertilizer used is say sodium nitrate or potassium nitrate and the soil needed potassium, it was deficient in potassium, then the nitrate ion is left in the soil and so the soil turns acidic. And if nitrogen was needed by the plant, then potassium ion will increase in the soil and it will become basic. So, what we can do is that we can check the pH value of the soil, you can do it at home also, and after you have found out whether it is acidic or basic, then accordingly the fertilizer can be used so that it can become neutral and the crop yield can be good. Or we can also find that what kind of pH value is required for a particular crop. So, in the soil also pH value plays a very important role, because after all crops are living and they need a specific pH value.